Randy Rocky, Swan Financial. Stephanie sent us an email asking, what are closing costs associated with a mortgage? And Chuck, I'm going to bring you in on this one as well. And also, can they be negotiated? Seems like everything these days can be negotiated, but let's start with you, Randy. What are the closing costs from your end?
Yes, they can be negotiated. So closing costs average with escrow set up about 3% of the purchase price, somewhere in that area. If you're putting a lot more down, obviously it would not be, but 3% of the purchase price. So let me give an example. If you're buying a $300,000 house, to set up your escrow and all your closing, it runs about $9,000. What is in closing for Swan? Usually you have a processing fee, credit report fee, verification of employment, and then on title, we have where they have to run the title search. There is title insurance, owners and lenders, which we really recommend owner's title because that covers you on just what you just talked about. If something comes in after the fact, the owner is protected as well. There are deed recordings. And then you set up your escrow, 15 months of insurance. And then whatever time you close, you set up your property tax, how much property tax you pay. You add all that up together, and it's 3%. Can you negotiate that? Absolutely. Sure, anything's negotiated, but there's a point where, everybody's got to make something, to make a living. Yeah. So there isn't a lot of wiggle room on closing costs. There really isn't. It's kind of very simple, and it's put out in what is called a loan estimate. And then you look it over, you go over it with your loan officer, and obviously you can choose what loan officer you want. You can choose what title company you want, but that's how we do it. And usually I can get through that with the client in about usually 20, 30 minutes. They kind of understand here's the roadmap. And then also on that, it also gives you what your payment will be, what you have to bring to closing and all the above, if any, if you don't do 0%.
And when you talk title company, talking about closing attorneys, you're talking about Chuck Crosby. And Chuck, from your perspective, closing costs, just to be very thorough on this answer.
My closing costs? Well, it's going to depend on where the property is. In different counties, there's different prices. Title examinations go up. Like if you want something out of Laurel County, the title exam is going to cost a little more and go from there. Now, what you're looking at on our side is title insurance. The Department of Financial Institutions, the rates are set with them. Most of the title insurance outfits are within $100, $200 of each other. Mm-hmm. So whether you go with Stewart or First American or whatever like that, most of the fees are going to be the same. The recording fees are always going to be the same, $50 to record a deed, $46 to record mortgages, etc. Usually, if there's a mortgage involved, it's about $130 to $180 to record everything. Our fees range from $450 to $550, depending, of course, like I said, on the different circumstances. It can go up, it can go down. The way I like to tell people when they call in is, hey, give me your address, tell me the purchase price, and all that kind of stuff, and we'll outline the exact costs for them. And as I always say, I think we're probably the least expensive outfit in town, and if we're not, I'll typically match it.
There you go. That's a deal. That's Chuck Crosby. We're going to take a break, by the way, and when we come back, why you may want to put a roll of toilet paper in your refrigerator, or may not, we'll review. But mentioning Chuck Crosby, he's the owner of the Crosby Law Office. They do closings and a great job at it, and other things, including wills, which are so important, powers of attorney, and other things. You can reach Chuck and his team, 499-6360. The other voice you've also been listening to, Randy Rocky. He's one of the head guys at Swan Financial, where they do a great job shopping your loan to get you the best rate. And I can personally attest to the ability of Randy and Chuck, quite frankly, in getting the job done. Just recently, in fact, you can reach Randy on his cell phone at 645-0736. And if you're thinking of selling your home now or in the very near future or next year or beyond, I'd love to be able to help you. There's no home too big, no home too small, and we sell them pretty quickly based on the price and location, of course. You can call me anytime on my cell phone, 376-5483, or you can go to bobsellslouisville.com, fill out the form, hit submit, and if you're looking for that free no obligation analysis of what your home is worth. It's a computer analysis, but it's immediate. You can go to WeSellLouisville.com and click on the top of the page. We're back in a moment on News Radio 840 WHAS.